GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Mark Beaumont. Tonight we'll break down the 40,000 medical gear theft at our hospital, the yellow alert as storms flood Montreal and heavy traffic from road closures downtown, plus a spotlight on Old Brewery Mission's new rehousing project. Emma, what do you make of that?
Les Miserables opens at Place des Arts tonight, with performances scheduled nightly through Sunday, featuring a cast of local talent and classic French-Canadian translations.
Tickets for the show are available online, at the box office, and via phone reservations, with pricing ranging from $24 to $54 for seated sections.
Audience members can enjoy bilingual subtitles on the theater screens, ensuring both English and French speakers follow the narrative throughout the 3-hour performance.
With the stage lights already glowing and the audience filing in, the excitement builds, but first the news. Lots to get to, let's begin. A sudden power outage across the plateau is leaving thousands in the dark, as officials scramble for answers and residents seek relief. Montreal police are investigating a theft at Hôpital du Sacré-Cœur de Montreal that took place in early May. Hospital officials reported that medical equipment worth approximately $40,000 was removed from the facility. The loss includes items used for patient care, though the exact inventory has not been disclosed. The Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal confirmed that detectives are reviewing surveillance footage and interviewing staff to identify the perpetrators. SPVM officers are also coordinating with the hospital's security team as the investigation continues. Hôpital du Sacré-Cœur de Montreal serves as a major health provider for the city and surrounding region, and the incident has prompted a review of security protocols at the site. Police have not announced any arrests at this time and continue to gather evidence. The case is being treated as a property crime under Quebec law.
Veteran forward Jamie Lee Rattray has agreed to a 2-year contract with the Toronto Scepters, the Professional Women's Hockey League announced on Saturday. The attacker, who has spent more than a decade in elite competition, will join the Scepters as they look to strengthen their offensive core ahead of the upcoming season. The agreement was confirmed by the club's front office during a press briefing, and Rattray expressed excitement about returning to a market eager for top-level women's hockey. The signing is one of several roster moves disclosed by the league on Saturday, as teams fine-tune their lineups for the 2026 to 2027 campaign. Details of the contract's financial terms were not released, but the 2-year deal adds a veteran presence to Toronto's roster. Coach Michael Turner said the addition brings experience and depth to the forward group, and the team hopes the veterans' leadership will translate into on-ice success.
Environment Canada has confirmed that severe thunderstorms are now flooding multiple communities across the Montreal region. Heavy rain, driven by a series of violent cells, began inundating low-lying roads and riverbanks this afternoon. A yellow weather alert remains in force for the affected areas and will stay active through this evening. Officials warn that water levels are rising quickly in several municipalities, prompting local authorities to deploy emergency crews and issue safety advisories. Residents in flood-prone zones are being urged to avoid travel on inundated routes and to follow instructions from municipal emergency managers. The storm system is expected to maintain its intensity through the remainder of the day, keeping the region under heightened vigilance. Environment Canada will continue to monitor conditions and provide updates as the situation evolves throughout the evening.
Yesterday, Robert Monette stepped into a new life when he moved into a subsidized apartment that is part of an 18-unit housing project aimed at people transitioning out of homelessness. The development, located in the city, offers rent subsidies and on-site counseling designed to help residents secure stable housing. Monette, who spent years living on the streets, said the keys represent a concrete step toward lasting security. Officials highlighted that the project's 18 apartments are built to provide a bridge between emergency shelters and permanent homes, with support services embedded in the building. The initiative reflects the city's broader effort to combine affordable rent with tailored assistance for those leaving homelessness. Housing advocates noted that the model seeks to reduce the risk of returning to the streets by offering both financial relief and professional guidance under one roof.
Tonight at 3 a.m., legendary Quebec chanteuse Diane Dufresne will take the stage for the Fête National celebration in Montreal. The 81-year-old star, whose career spans more than 6 decades, continues to write and record new material. Organizers hinted she might unveil a brand new, never-before-heard song during the concert, adding an extra spark to an already historic night. Dufresne, a beloved icon of Quebec music, has remained a vibrant presence in the province's cultural scene, regularly performing and releasing fresh tracks well into her 80s. The National Holiday Show, a centerpiece of the summer festivities, gathers audiences from across the province to honor Quebec's heritage with music, dance, and fireworks. Fans can expect Dufresne's powerful voice to echo through the venue, reinforcing her enduring legacy. The concert will be held at the historic Place des Arts, drawing thousands of spectators. Coming up, we'll break down the SUV blaze in Montreal North and its link to flood warnings. Then back to you, we will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back. That was a quick break. Up next, Emma Leclerc brings you the latest local stories shaping our neighborhoods, from traffic updates to community events.
An SUV ignited on Friday night in the Montreal Nord district, sending thick smoke into the surrounding streets. Firefighters arrived within minutes, battling the blaze for roughly an hour before declaring the vehicle safely extinguished. No injuries were reported, and authorities confirmed that no other vehicles or structures were damaged. Residents nearby reported hearing the alarm and seeing flames from their windows, prompting several to step outside to watch the scene. Police are conducting a preliminary investigation to determine the cause of the fire, and the area remains closed to traffic while crews finish cleanup. The blocked thoroughfare reopened late Saturday morning, allowing commuters to resume their routes without further delay. The incident underscores the rapid response capabilities of local emergency services, which mobilized from stations across the borough. Officials will release further details as the investigation progresses.
Families filled the Victoire section of the arena on June 20th as the Walter Cup Championship reached its climax. The crowd, a mix of parents, siblings, and grandparents, cheered every play, while CBC Quebec captured the excitement for viewers at home. Inside the stands, relatives of the competing athletes shared stories of early morning practices and weekend games that led to this moment. The final match showcased the talent that has defined the tournament all season, and the energy in the arena reflected the community's pride in its young players. After the decisive goal, cheers echoed through the venue, and the victorious team lifted the cup amid applause from the gathered families. The event underscored how a local tournament can bring neighbors together for a shared celebration of sport today.
During the World Cup match on June 18th in Qatar, Canada's midfield star Ismail Kane suffered a broken leg. The Montreal-born player was part of the 6-0 victory over the host nation when the injury occurred. Teammates and coach called it a shocking blow to the squad and to the province's soccer community. Kane, a key figure for both the national side and local clubs, was taken off on a stretcher and taken to a hospital. Officials confirmed the result stands, but attention now turns to Kane's health and the impact on Canada's upcoming fixtures. The Quebec soccer community posted messages of support on social platforms, and supporters gathered at local cafes to watch the game on large screens. His absence will be felt in Canada's next qualifying round.
Quebec's health authority has introduced a new requirement for senior-level applicants. Starting June 20th, candidates seeking executive positions with Santé Quebec must complete detailed questionnaires that probe mental health history and eating disorder experiences before any offer is made. The agency says the measures aim to ensure that leaders are fit for the pressures of the public health system. Critics argue the approach invades personal privacy and could deter qualified professionals from applying. The forms ask for specific diagnoses, treatment dates, and current symptom levels, far beyond the standard background checks used elsewhere. Santé Quebec confirmed the policy will be applied to all forthcoming hiring rounds, and that responses will be kept confidential within the recruitment team. The move comes as the province grapples with staff shortages and heightened scrutiny of mental well-being in high-stress occupations.
After a 12-month pause, the Quebec government announced on June 19th that family reunification immigration applications are once again being accepted. The province's immigration department said the suspension, which began in May of last year, has been lifted and a new processing system has been installed to handle the backlog. Officials indicated the updated platform will streamline document verification and reduce waiting times for families seeking to join relatives in Quebec. The change affects applicants who were previously unable to submit new requests during the year-long freeze. The government did not specify how many cases are already pending, but said the new system is designed to accommodate the anticipated surge of submissions. Applicants are now instructed to file through the provincial portal beginning today. Community advocates had pressed for quicker reunifications during the pause.
Let's get a look at your evening forecast with our meteorologist. staying right here on the local sunset.
Tonight's weather snapshot, with a look back and a glance ahead for Montreal as you plan your evening. On this day, Montreal's record high reached 33.4 degrees Celsius in 2020, riding the tail end of an unprecedented heat wave that pushed the province into its warmest June stretch on record. The record low was set at 9.8 degrees Celsius back in 2015, when a sudden Arctic blast slipped through the Great Lakes, leaving the city shivering despite midsummer. For comparison, today's climate normals sit around 22 degrees for the high and 15 degrees for the low, a reminder of how unusual those extremes were. Right now, the sky over Montreal is overcast and the temperature sits at 21 degrees Celsius, with humidity at 83% and a gentle breeze from the east at 15 kilometers per hour. As we move towards 7, the mercury will dip to 17 degrees, still under clouds, and no rain is expected through the night. The UV index stays modest at 5, so sunscreen isn't needed. Winds remain below the 25-kilometer threshold, peaking at 23 kilometers per hour from the west. A series of severe thunderstorm warnings and watches cover the island and nearby areas such as Chateauguay, Lavieille, and Lacal. If you hear thunder, stay indoors and avoid unnecessary travel. That's the picture for this evening, and now let's glance at the 5-day outlook. Looking ahead, Sunday will stay overcast with a high of 21 degrees and a low of 14, so expect a quiet start to the week. Monday brings a slight warm-up to 23 degrees, but a 30% chance of rain means you might want an umbrella for evening plans. Tuesday brightens a bit with partly cloudy skies and a comfortable high of 22 degrees, low 15, perfect for an outdoor stroll. Wednesday returns to overcast conditions and a 20% rain probability, while the temperature climbs to 24 degrees, low 15. Thursday caps the stretch with another overcast day, the same high of 24 degrees, a low of 16, and the highest rain chance at 40%. Keep a light jacket handy for the cooler evenings.
Later we'll untangle heavy traffic, preview Les Miserables and the Dead Calm concert, and spotlight the Old Brewery mission. We will be right back.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Major disruption on Highway 138, the Mercier Bridge, where a lane closure forces traffic onto the opposite side and creates backups into the east end. Expect delays of 20 minutes or more, especially during the rush toward the downtown core. The Victoria Bridge on Highway 112 is also closed, diverting vehicles onto the Champlain Bridge and adding congestion on Rue Notre Dame. In the south, the Ville-Marie and Viger tunnels on Highway 136 remain shut for repairs, pushing trucks onto the St. Laurent corridor and lengthening travel times through the plateau. At the intersection of St. Patrick and Bridge Streets, a water main inspection has shut the crossing, creating a queue that spills onto Rue St. Patrick. Meanwhile, Hydro-Quebec work on Cavendish Boulevard in Montreal forces a single lane, slowing traffic through the park area. All other major routes, including the Descartes and the Trans-Canada, are moving freely. No transit service interruptions have been reported this afternoon.
Tonight the iconic musical Les Miserables lights up Théâtre Saint-Denis, a chance to hear the beloved score live in the heart of the city. If you're strolling through Quartier des Spectacles, the Francos de Montreal Festival is humming with French-language tunes across dozens of stages, perfect for a spontaneous soundtrack to your evening. For those craving a more intimate vibe, Dead Calm takes the stage at Bar Le Ritz on Jean Talon, delivering a gritty set that promises to keep the night pulse racing. Looking ahead, the Festival International de Jazz rolls into town later this week, offering over 300 concerts and many free shows that will fill the summer with swing. It's the city's biggest free entry music celebration, drawing locals and tourists alike. And on the horizon, Cirque Extreme Canadian lands at Place Bell next week, promising high-energy circus thrills you won't want to miss. And now here's Jason with sports.
A quieter sports board today, with no fresh local team update from RSS. 2 Montreal Canadiens took home NHL awards on June 5th. Captain Nick Suzuki claimed the Frank J. Selk Trophy, recognized as the league's top defensive forward. Cole Caulfield earned the Lady Byng Trophy for sportsmanship and gentlemanly play, a strong statement for a franchise building toward contention. The Canadiens' playoff run is over. Carolina eliminated Montreal in the Eastern Conference Final, with Logan Stankoven scoring one of 3 Hurricanes' first-period goals in Game 5. The Hurricanes advanced to the Stanley Cup Final. CBC Sports reports Montreal's promising postseason ends at the conference stage. An emotional goodbye in Montreal. Brendan Gallagher, described by CBC Sports NHL as the longest-serving Canadian, announced he is moving on from the only NHL franchise he has ever known. Gallagher said it is time to, quote, find a new home, closing the chapter on a lengthy career in blue, Blanquette Rouge.
Old Brewery Mission, right in the heart of Sud-Ouest, just opened its first permanent rehousing project in Montreal. The new Monk Pavilion adds 18 studio apartments, each with its own kitchen and bathroom, giving people transitioning out of homelessness a stable place to call home. Beyond walls, the mission provides on-site support services, case management, employment coaching, and health referrals, designed to turn a roof into lasting independence. This investment signals a turning point for the borough, where affordable housing has been scarce, and it anchors a community-wide effort to rebuild lives. For Montreal, the Old Brewery Mission reminds us that a city's strength is measured by how we lift its most vulnerable neighbors. And stay tuned for a heartwarming story of a former Montreal street dweller who just secured a subsidized apartment, a community triumph.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
In the heart of Montreal Nord, just past the bustling St. Laurent Boulevard, a fire erupted in a modest 3-story apartment building on a quiet Tuesday evening. Neighbors heard the crackle of flames and the wail of sirens, and within minutes firefighters were on the scene, their ladders reaching up to the smoky windows. Inside, 2 young children, siblings aged 5 and 7, were rescued from the 3rd-floor unit, their small hands clutching a beloved stuffed bear as smoke swirled around them. The community gathered outside, umbrellas turned into makeshift shields, while volunteers handed out blankets and warm drinks to the firefighters and the frightened families. In the days that followed, the neighborhood rallied around the injured children. A local bakery organized a bake sale, the school held an art auction, and a collective fund was set up, soon covering medical expenses and a future scholarship for the siblings. When the children returned to the hospital, their faces lit up at the sea of supportive notes and handmade cards that lined the hallway. Montreal's spirit of caring turns even the darkest moments into a shared promise of hope.
On a crisp Saturday morning in the historic Villeray St. Mitchell neighborhood, volunteers gathered at the corner of Rue St. Mitchell and Rue du Parc, with flyers, pet safety kits, and a bright orange mascot costume. They were there because health officials announced a rise in raccoon rabies cases in the southeastern outskirts of the city, and the community wanted to turn concern into action. Leading the effort was Dr. Amélie Boussachar, a local veterinarian who set up a pop-up clinic in the community center. She showed pet owners how to check their dogs for ticks, demonstrated the new rabies vaccine, and let children hold a rescued raccoon named Rouge, who had been treated and was ready for release. The raccoon's curious eyes and gentle whisker twitch drew a chorus of delighted giggles. By the time the sun slipped behind the St. Laurent, families left with printed guides, a sense of preparedness, and the comforting thought that together they had helped keep both pets and wildlife safe. It's a reminder that when neighbors look out for each other, even a health warning can become a moment of shared hope.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local Sunset. Tonight's inspiring story of a formerly homeless Montrealer moving into a subsidized apartment reminded us of community resilience. Stay tuned tomorrow for more local headlines and in-depth reporting and fresh perspectives. We'll see you bright and early.